Look at this, a regular checkout candy bar with as much sugar as a slice of cake. And these brightly colored boxes of kids' cereal. That acid color comes from a dye made from petroleum byproducts. And soda. The soda that kids drink by the gallon? For years they added bromine to it. The same stuff they soak fabrics in so they don't burn. Know what they have in common? Not price, not brand, but country. All this is regular food from the USA, and what's mixed into it has been illegal in dozens of countries for ages. Let me say up front, this isn't a scare story or a push to go full health nut. Just facts you probably didn't know. Hopefully after this video you'll never look at normal food the same way again. So stick around till the end, you won't regret it. And here is the story that kicked it all off. A girl with this username posted on Reddit and got 30,000 upvotes. Early 20s, works in medicine. For most of her life she couldn't eat a normal piece of bread. Toast, bread rolls, sandwiches all meant bloating, pain, body shutting down. Turns out she has gluten intolerance on top of an autoimmune disease. But things got interesting when she flew to Italy. There she ate everything, pizza, pasta, bread every morning, 2 weeks straight, and kept waiting for the usual symptoms to hit, but it didn't. Not at all. Not once. Like she got cured overnight. Wild, right? But when she came back home to the USA, right at the airport, she ate her first sandwich. And a couple hours later, that same pain that tortured her for years was back. Simple, she didn't magically cured in Italy. She just ate different flour, same words on the package, wheat and bread. So her body wasn't reacting to gluten, it was reacting to what was added to the flour here at home. And there are thousands like her, maybe more. Now you'll learn why the same company puts 4 ingredients in one product for one country and 14 for another. Why the same dye they put in face cream and lipstick they freely dump into kids' candy. And what a closed room in Minneapolis had to do with it, where 11 people once decided what the whole country would eat. And most importantly, we'll answer the question you've probably wondered about. Where are those who are supposed to watch all this? And for dessert, I'll tell you about the biggest real-world medical experiment in history. 45 million participants. And surprise, nobody asked for permission. Let's go. I'm Max Evans. Here we don't just talk about hot business and social topics. We dissect how they work from the inside. Let's dive in. Take fries from American McDonald's and flip the package. Ingredients 14. There are hydrogenated oils, natural beef flavor in potatoes, by the way, go figure, and a substance with a gorgeous name, oh god, let me try this, dimethylpolysiloxane. Remember it, yeah. It's an anti-foaming agent. Same stuff they make these from. Yep, slime, silly putty, how's that for fries? Now the same fries, same chain, same logo, only in Britain. 4 ingredients: potatoes, oil, dextrose, salt. That's it. Nobody forgot how to fry potatoes on the way across the ocean. Just on this side, someone agreed that 14 is fine. There you go. Think this is a one-off? Then let's all check out the cereal aisle. Fruit Loops. In America, their color comes from 4 synthetic dyes. Red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6 and blue 1. And here's the same Fruit Loops in Canada. Paler, right? Because in Canada they make the dye from carrots, watermelon and blueberry juice. One company, one brand, just the border between the USA and Canada. So Canadians get normal cereal by default without any fight. Wait, what? And here is what kills me. Back in 2015, Kellogg's, the same ones making these Fruit Loops, publicly promised to remove artificial dyes by 2018. Journalists checked later. In Canada, they removed the dyes. In America, nope, almost 10 years passed, folks. But okay, breathe out. Next comes my favorite moment. In 2020, Ireland's Supreme Court officially ruled bread at Subway isn't bread. Yeah, you heard right. Legally, under Irish law, sugar in bread shouldn't exceed 2%, but in a Subway roll, it's 10. 5 times higher. The court wrote it down. This is closer to confectionery, more cake than bread. I'm not joking. Cake. Wild, right? And in the USA, that exact same recipe is still proudly called bread. And nobody changed anything. What are you gonna do? Nothing. But why are companies even allowed to do this? And where are all the people who should watch this? The answer starts with one closed meeting. 1999, city of Minneapolis. Let's dive deeper. Now comes a story these companies certainly wouldn't want you to know about, so listen carefully. April 8, 1999. Black cars pull up one by one to Pillsbury headquarters. 11 people get out. These are bosses of the planet's biggest food companies. Nestle, Kraft, Coca-Cola, Mars, General Mills. On any other day there are enemies, clawing for every inch of you. Today they gather together on the sly. No press, One topic: Americans are rapidly getting fat, and blame increasingly falls on their products. A man named Michael Mudd, VP of Kraft, takes the floor. He shows slides and tells colleagues something scary for them. Guys, if we don't handle these ourselves, we'll be sued just like tobacco companies once were. He proposes pooling funds, lowering sugar and salt together, and commissioning joint research. He asks others for support. Then Steven Sanger, head of General Mills, stands up and says outright, "We are not gonna change our products because of other people's problems." So people have health trouble and corporations just couldn't care less? Is that where the world is going, friends? Others not. And that's it, meeting dispersed. And that's what I call teamwork. It's 1999, remember? Today about 40% of adult Americans suffer from obesity, a historic record. Okay, but how do they get away with it? I'll tell you now. You'd think, well, there is a government division that checks new additives before letting it into food. Well, that's nonsense. Wishful thinking. There is no such thing. In America, they came up with a clever loophole, and here's how it works. A company can check a new chemical itself, meaning it hires its own scientists who write all safe, and the product quietly lands on shelves. And that government we think is looking out for us may not even know such a substance exists. By some estimates, almost 1,000 substances quietly seeps into food this way. 1,000. Just think about it. But the brightest example, red dye number 3. Back in 1990, scientists found it causes cancer in animals, and they did ban it, but in cosmetics. So you apply it to your lips? Hard no, but put it in candy, in pig frosting, in kids' cherry gummies? Definitely yes, thumbs up. Eat all you want. And so for 35 years, lipstick, face products, no way? Eat? Sure, anytime. $1 million logic, right? In food, they banned it only in 2025. I'm shocked. Now I'll tell you about a person. This hole in the system drove him to a hospital bed with symptoms that left doctors shrugging. And the reason will, mildly put, surprise you. Now the most interesting part, but first, one personal thing. I make a video for this channel every week and the growth could be better. Honestly, the only thing that motivates me is literally the likes I see on every video. So please, if you genuinely enjoy this video, hit like, leave comments, subscribe. It really supports me. My goal is to help you see the real truth in this fast-changing world. Now, let's continue. Here, friends, buckle up. 2003, Mississippi. They bring a 65-year-old man to the hospital. Symptoms scare even doctors. Memory loss, coordination problems, skin sores, patient stops walking. They take blood and his bromine level is 5 times the normal level. And the logical question arises, how? Where did he get all that bromine in his system? To understand how critical this is, imagine you just ate a pack of salt in one go. Your body just wouldn't handle it. Of course, rough comparison, but same idea. For over 20 years, this man drank about 8 liters of soda a day. Every day, 8 liters. When I said I couldn't believe it myself. The soda he was living on contained BVO, brominated vegetable oil. Slowly, the bromine built up in his body. The diagnosis sounds like a parody, bromism. They did save him in the end, thankfully, but only after someone asked what was actually in his favorite drink. There was, by the way, a second case. A person hit ruby red squirter so hard, his skin actually turned red and sores appeared. How's that for loving something? But okay, breathe. From here it'll be easier. Britain banned that same BVO back in 1970, the EU in 2008, Japan in 2010, and the USA in 2024, 54 years after the Brits. Better late than never, I suppose. But sometimes the problem isn't one chemical. It's the fact that nobody's really watching the factories. Summer 2024, Florida. Otis Adams is 79. He buys regular deli meat at the store, ham from the known brand Boar's Head. A few days later, fever strikes, weakness surfaces. They put him in a hospital. Diagnosis: listeriosis. He dies. Sounds scary. Very much so. And then a report surfaces about the factory that made this deli meat. In a year, inspectors counted 69 violations there. Black mold, insects, puddles of blood on the floor. Sorry for that. And this factory was working all this time as if nothing happened. The result of that outbreak, you ask? 10 dead in infections in 19 states. After this mess, the factory eventually closed. Not surprising. Heavy chapter, I agree. But next, for the first time in this entire video, will be good news. Because in 2021, one of these corporations accidentally told the truth about itself. And this truth leaked out. 2021, the Financial Times newspaper discovers an internal Nestle presentation, the world's biggest food company. Not for the press, for their own top managers. And here's what they wrote. Over 60% of our products don't meet the recognized definition of healthy food. And among sweets and ice cream, 99%. And the truth, some of our products will never be healthy, no matter how we remake them. They wrote this themselves, about themselves, for themselves. Now that's honesty. Commendable? Not that much. And next, a story about how one ordinary person made giants move. Meet Vanny, not a scientist, not an activist. He just one day happened to read the ingredients in a Subway roll. He sees the word, let me try, azodicarbonamide. Goes googling and finds out the same stuff goes into making yoga mats. Yoga mats in a roll. Seriously, crazy, right? In Europe and Australia, decent food gets you a fine. In Singapore, up to 15 years in prison. In the USA, sure, go ahead. She launches a petition. Subway, remove yoga mat from bread. The petition gets almost 100,000 signatures, and Subway removes it. And here's the kicker, in European Subways, this substance was never there. They sold food without yoga mat. Just here, they didn't care, simple as that. But guess what? Common sense finally appeared. In 2025, the government announced the removal of 8 synthetic dyes from American food at once. That same dye number 3 was finally banned. And at last, those same Fruit Loops had dyes removed. Remember the one that Canada never had. 9 years and a good kick from the government at last to do what Canada got just by default. Well, at least we're thankful for that. And since we're on this topic, here are 3 working habits that you can start right now. Here it goes. First, flip the package and read ingredients. Sounds basic, but most don't even do this. Second, see natural flavors in ingredients. That's not one ingredient, but a whole closed list. The company isn't obliged to disclose to you. Consider it a red flag. Third, same brand abroad is often cleaner than at home. If you're in Europe, flip that same package and compare. You'll be surprised. Now, remember that woman who flew to Italy and the real-world experiment of 45 million people I promised. Let's bring it all together. That traveler in Italy ate wheat without anything we listed today, just flour, water, salt and yeast. And her body didn't freak out for one simple reason. There was nothing to freak out about. All this time it was reacting not to gluten, as she thought, but to additives. Her body was warning her, and luckily she knows now too. And okay, here's the promised real-world experiment. Not in a lab, in real life. In recent decades, about 45 million people have moved to America. And here's what scientists noticed long ago. Almost all arrive healthier than the average American, and after 10 to 15 years, their health becomes exactly like the locals. This even has a name, healthy immigrant paradox. Know who hold out longest in this experiment? Those who stubbornly keep cooking at home. But the fact itself, 45 million participants. And permission, as I said, nobody asked anyone. In the end, this whole video is about one simple thing. Same corporations, same factories, same packaging. One country gets potatoes with 4 ingredients, another with 14. And it's not like they don't know how to do it better. They do. They're already selling a clean version in Europe. The whole difference comes down to one thing. In one country, they're held accountable. In another, everyone just looks the other way. Miracles, right? All these stories just food for thought, not stomach. Don't panic and jump straight into water with crackers. It's enough to know what you eat. And now I hope you look at your plate with slightly different eyes. Share this after dinner with a friend, your spouse or colleague. But you know, in this whole story about corporations and food, there is one detail I'll deliberately left out today. Because you can spend endless hours reading ingredients labels. Try to choose clean products and changing your habits, but none of it will work until you understand why these same corporations are right now squeezing the last money out of you, jaking up prices at supermarkets and fast food chains to absurd levels. While you think it's just inflation, you're being robbed in style. I broke down the full inside story of why life has become so damn expensive and who's actually taking your money in this video right here. Click here and I'll see you there.